Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Just relax your neck, relax your shoulders. You can put your hands down next to you or in your lap. And if you need a longer stretch, you can take the left hand all the way out until you get the desired effect of sensation that you're looking for. Inhale completely all the way to a 4 or 8 count breath in. And release to a nice, slow, steady 4 to 8 count breath out. 2 more, just like that. Relax your neck, shoulders down. If you run into any tension, what is it? I've been labeling mine and then releasing it with love, with joy, or forgiveness. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. When you finish this last round, we're simply going to switch sides. So you'll inhale back up through neutral. You might need to take a couple of yes and no's in there. Lift your chin up and down if you done. And then take it over to the other side. Hands in your lap will relax the shoulders a little more. Hands down will increase the intensity. Taking the right fingertips out will increase it as well. Keep your shoulders down your back. If you're a striver, pushing is just going to come to you, so you have to resist the pushing. And for those who resist the sensation, you need to amp it up and bump into that sensation. 3 more breaths. Long neck, soft face. Breathe deep. In our active minds, it could be easy for our thoughts to trick us and for our do more egos to think that we need to be moving to be benefiting our body. What you're moving right now is your breath, and that is way more important. Inhale, come on back up, because what you're moving is the internal stuff in your body. Chin drops in, chin lifts up. Go back and forth a few times. Find a sweet spot. You decide where that sweet spot is this morning. And then hold there for 3 breaths. Filling your lungs to their deepest capacity yet. And emptying from the navel. Squishing the air out by pulling the navel in. And as you work up this deeper diaphragmatic breath, maybe you can find a deeper exhale. Letting it be longer than the inhale. It's really going to drop cortisol levels and boost the immunity. Once you finish your 3rd breath, bring yourself back through neutral. Shake it out if anything got tense. And then we're going to bring our feet out, soles of the feet together. So like we're coming into Karmasana, so a nice big diamond between the legs, but keep the soles of the feet touching. Inhale the arms up. Notice if your shoulders went up with your arms, put them away. So our fingers are reaching up, but our shoulders are reaching down. So we start to engage the isometric muscle movement in the arms. And then we get this nice side body stretch, and your hips might be trying to help you. So just take a few breaths and notice what it's like to sit tall in this pose. It might make your knees come up. Breathe. What is that tension? Can you label it? And on your exhale, we're going to come forward, and you're going to bring yourself over your legs. Hands are going to turn down to the ground, and palms will reach down if they don't touch the ground. Out in front of you, maybe you cupcake the fingers back and you ground in, right? Maybe you need to have your hands on your shins. Maybe your nose is right between the soles of your feet. Everyone's going to have a different place in this forward fold. but we're working on releasing tension in the hips and lengthening the spine. So think about curling your tailbone under here, like we would in cat pose, so that you get a nice long lengthening of the spine, separating the vertebra little by little. And think about what's going on your front body. If you're rounding, those vertebrae are being collapsed. If you're not rounding, if you're lengthening both sides of the spine are being elongated. Which one's better for you? Take 3 more breaths there. You can have your arms active, fingers reaching in one direction, shoulders in the other. Feel your belly expand and then contract. And then we're just going to take the right arm and reach it back behind us and see how far it goes. Fingertips away from the body, then left hand out as far as yours can go in front of you without straining or pulling the shoulders out of whack. So try to keep your shoulders level here as well. And then on the inhale, we're going to lift all the way up. Lift the left hand up, push into the right hand. Take a breath, feel the side body stretch, and then exhale, twist as you reach for your knee, maybe your shin, your thigh. Maybe you get all the way to your hip. Try not to move that back hand. I noticed my head got tippy, so keep your spine straight. Think about reaching the crown of your head up. And then as you reach up, twist from your rib cage. So try not to use the left hand to help. It's just there to encourage a little deeper twist, but it's actually happening from the ribs. Sit tall, breathe deep, and allow both sit bones to stay down. One more big breath. And then as you inhale, bring the left arm back up. Exhale, forward fold. Take a recovery breath down the middle. And then the left hand's going to go back. So long setup on the first side. That usually is long on the second because we kind of figure it out. But make sure you're adjusting for it. Give yourself time to push into both hands and then inhale, lift the right hand all the way up. Sit tall as you lengthen your spine and then exhale, twist. Try not to move your left hand. And sit and relax into your hips, your knees. Reach up through the crown of the head. Try to twist from the rib cage. 2 more deep rounds of breath. So think that's about 20 full seconds if your breaths are up to 10 seconds long with the inhale and the exhale combined. We're going to take this into a back bend next. So when you inhale, we're going to reach the right hand up and then the left hand up, and then take both hands back behind. Open the heart and chest. Fingertips come forward. Lift your heart up. Now you can push the ground away with your hands and your feet, and maybe your hips will lift. Maybe you don't want to lift your hips today, even if they do. But we're going to open the heart here for 3 more rounds of breath. And if your hips are lifted, keep lifting with the pubis. Try not to let the butt drop. Keep lifting the belly up. Pushing the ground away and a soft bend in the elbows. Push the soles of the feet together. If your bottom is lifted, you'll finish on that exhale, lower your butt down. Inhale, take the arms up, and then we're going to go through 1 more round. So as you come into your forward fold, pause. Take 3 rounds of breath. Let your breath be long and deep to accommodate your lungs and your belly and your body. And then the right hand goes behind. You might want to lift halfway up. I thought that was a really interesting place to be as well this morning. And then the left arm goes all the way up. And then you twist. You'll neutralize. And then lengthen. And then neutralize. And then lengthen. 3 times, 3 breaths. You'll come back through center for your fold. And then take it to the left. Get out of your ears for a few breaths. And if you choose to spend a few extra breaths in the forward fold, feel free to do so. If you choose a few extra seated or in the twist, those choices are up to you because you're moving your body today. Getting calm. And then the back bend happens for 3 full rounds of breath. Whether your hips leave the earth or not will be still up to you. At this time, when you finish your 3 breaths in your back bend, you're going to come forward to table. Take your time. And when you come to table, you're going to take some cat-cow. And some of you are going to push right back to down dog. So we're not going to spend a ton of time in cat-cows, but they almost always feel good. So take a few. And if you're in down dog and you want to come into your cat-cows, you're going to hover the knees and then drop them. Lift the gaze and the tailbone. Round it under. And then lengthen the legs. So you decide how big your cat-cows need to be today. You could even come into knees, chest, chin here, and then push back the child's pose. There's so many variations. Take about 5 more breaths. Full inhale. Full exhale. And we're either going to meet in down dog or tabletop. So if down dog's a place that you're working on, remember that tabletop is a great place to start. Or go back to if you start getting fatigued. If you're on my breath count, you have 2 more. And then you'll come either to a neutral table or to a neutral down dog. So what is a neutral down dog? So for down dog, well, we have our regular down dog. You've got a couple different styles. So you can have the cat variation where we round everything in and our shoulders are really strong and the chin tucks in and the tailbone curls under. We could have the cow variation where you push your chest back towards your thighs and try to get your head on the ground. And then you got neutral. Spine is long, head is between the biceps, and maybe your gaze goes slightly forward. Whichever one seems right to you, that's the one I want you to pick. And if you're ready to move from your down dog, I need you to take 1 more breath and then walk, hop, or float your feet forward. If you're not ready to move yet, you've got 2 more breaths in your down dog. And we're all going to meet in a fold, standing at the front of the mat. So when you're ready to get your feet up there, you'll walk yourself forward. Maybe you take that inhale half lift. Remember, if you're bringing hands to shins, that we don't just push the shins back. We push with the shins and the hands. So there's the same amount of pressure with shin and hand. So we can get that half lift. Exhale, fold in. Pull your navel up into your spine and let your length come right from the top of your sit bones. Reach them up. Don't overtax the hamstrings, so micro bend behind the knees. And if you're really tight in the hammies, you need a big bend. So be kind to your legs. It takes time to let them open. Inhale, we're gonna put a slight bend in your knees, hook your thumbs, and then on your next inhale, come all the way up through standing, reaching up and back for a nice big back bend. And then as you exhale, fold in, bring the hands behind your back and interlace the fingers. And if yours can roll up and over, they will. If you got your hands interlaced and they're on your back, breathe. That's probably a pretty edgy place for you. And if you're working on releasing the shoulders so they can roll all the way over, palms together, knuckles to the ceiling, and then open up and release on your next exhale. Plant the hands down. Inhale, lift your gaze. Step your right foot back. It's a low lunge. You can drop that knee down or keep it up. books or whatever you need to raise the ground. Pull your navel in towards your spine. Breathe. One more big breath here. And then step back. It's downward facing dog. So it's a big step back. And when you get to down dog, we're going to come through high plank. Drop the knees, the chest and the chin, and come through knees, chest, chin. Inhale. If you can, keep those toes curled under and use them to push yourself through for your cobra. In cobra, we can lift our hand. In up dog, we cannot. So make sure you get the pose that you need today. And just to keep it simple, push your hips back to your heels and then take it up to down dog. So that's the kind variation. We're on the right leg. So we're going to step the right foot forward. Remember, if it needs a helping hand, give the guy a helping hand. Inhale, lift your gaze. Drop your shoulders down your back. Feel this nice low lunge and let those inner thighs separate. Step your left foot up to meet your right. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, full fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, hook the thumbs. Sweep the arms up and back. Exhale, fold. Hook the hands behind your back. Open up as much as you can. Take one full round of breath there. And then release the hands to the ground. Keep up with your pace, not mine. This time the left leg goes back and it's that lunge. Lift your chin and chest. Keep your hands on the ground. Step back. It's down dog. Come forward, high plank. It's knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga if chaturanga is in your practice. Inhale for up dog, or if you're working on it, becoming part of your practice. Exhale for down dog. We're on the left, so the left foot's going to step forward. Nice big stretch in those inner thighs. Lift the gaze, shoulders goes down your back, belly in, nice strong breath, and then step your right foot up to meet the left. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, full fold. Bend the knees, hook the thumbs. Inhale, arc all the way up and back, and then exhale, fold. Bind the hands behind your back. One big round of breath. Relax. Even though you're engaging, don't tense. Plant the hands. Inhale, half lift. And this time, you're going to step either one foot or both feet back. And then take your vinyasa or your knees, chest, chin. Inhale for up dog. Exhale for down dog. Now, if the down dog is already taxing you, drop to your knees. Right leg is going to go up to the sky. As you exhale, we're going to pull nose and knee together underneath. Give a good squeeze. And then step that foot up between your hands. Help it if you need it. Pivot and plant the back foot. And inhale, rise up, warrior B. Whoop. Got some clothing issues going on today. We'll drop into your warrior B, feet pushing the ground away, opening through the inner thighs. Inhale, sweep the arms up, straighten your front leg, pivot the toes, and then turn the left toes out, and warrior B on your left leg. So that's going to be the biggest and the hardest part of the challenge of the flow. But since it's a hatha and not a vinyasa class, I'm going to guide you through it. We're going to reverse it. So focus on your breathing. Focus on the posture. Lengthen, tuck the tailbone under. Pull your navel in. And that's going to help protect your back. Think up and over on both sides. And then extended side angle. Forearm to thigh. And then reach the arm over. Get a good stack. And then decide if that hand can come down to the floor or a block. And before blocks, there was cupcaking the fingers a lot. So open up. Breathe deep. Now, you can stay right here, or you can work on your triangle. Even if your hand's on your thigh, keep your forearm there. Right? Keep an eye. I keep winging my arm out. Keep your thumb up over your nose. Put your shoulders away. Lift through your belly. And now, some of you are going to want to take this into half moon. So you can go right into half moon from here. It's challenging. So you might have to bend the knee and put your hand down and lift. Right? And if half moon isn't part of your practice today, then stay in the triangle. I have been needing to stay grounded, so a lot of these lifting, balancing poses have been just too balancing for me. You have one more breath in your triangle, or your extended side angle, or your half moon. And then we're going to come back to extended side angle, lift up to warrior B, come up through superstar. Sorry, my back is to you guys. And then lunge into your right knee, but hopefully you're listening and doing. And then lunge into your left knee. So we're doing our tiger lunges from the top. Why? Because that's going to create strength in your inner thigh. Go back and forth, right and left. Go down as low as you dare. Keep your hands up high if you can, or on your hips. One more to the left. Go low. And one more to the right. Good. Now turn your right toes to the front of your mat. Left hand comes down. Dragonfly twist. So pivot up onto the ball of the back foot. You could drop the knee here, or you can keep the knee lifted. So you can enjoy this twist, right? If you want to come into a hip dip, you're going to turn your right toes to the long edge of your mat. You're going to come onto the knife edge of your left foot, and you're going to hold here, or maybe take some hip dips. Some of you might grab for that big toe and start working your way into savasana. Sage pose, right? That's a big maneuver. How do you get there? Practicing hip dips. Opening up those tight spots and strengthening the weak ones. Good, if you've got your leg lifted, bring it back. We're gonna turn those toes forward and come back to our dragonfly twist. Bring the right hand down and then bring the left knee in, curtsy bow. So big breath here. No breath would be too big. Now, in last night's slow flow class, we worked on coming into Bakasana from here. So if that sounds like a good idea, you're going to work on it. Otherwise, you're going to work on your curtsy bow. So think low. If you were thinking about, well, how in the hell do you even get into crow pose from here? The right knee is going to come up onto the right arm. And then as you shift the left knee over, then you can pick up the right toes. So there's a strength and a flexibility thing going on there. You could work on a squat or anything else, but for now, we're going to step those left toes back. Reach our right arm up to the sky and come back into our dragonfly twist. Good, look down for stability. Inhale, come all the way back up through superstar. Lunge into the left leg. And then the right leg. Inhale through center and exhale into the left. One more to each side, right and left. And this time the left toes turn to the back of the mat and we come back into our warrior B. And you either did half moon, triangle, or extended side angle. Come back there, take one full round of breath. And then lift up into warrior B. If you did all three, you've got 2 more breaths, so don't rush. Reverse it. Shoulders down your back, belly strong, push into your back leg. Come back through warrior B. Straighten your left leg. Pivot to the front leg. Warrior B on the right. Tailbone tucks, strong through the fingers. Windmill the hands down, surround your foot, and you're either going to take your vinyasa or step back to down dog or table. If you need a resting pose, add it in. When you get to down dog, you're going to pick your left leg up. You're going to bring the left knee underneath and give it a squeeze. Set the foot down. Pivot and plant the back foot and rise up with warrior B. Really sink it. Open it. Now we've been here on both sides in the first flow on the first side. So one more breath, sink low. Good, and then come on up through superstar. Pivot on the feet. Warrior B on the right leg. Keep the tail tucked, push the feet and the ground away. Deep breaths, don't let your breath get shallow. Reverse it. Think long lines coming up and over. Shoulder down to back. Tailbone tucked under. One more great big breath. Follow your breath. And then it's extended side angle, forearm to thigh, hand to floor. I didn't mention it on the other side, but if you wanted to grab that bind, you still have an opportunity. Extended side angle turns into triangle. Give yourself 3 to 5 breaths in triangle. Make your adjustments. Maybe your stance is too long. Engage your legs and fire up your belly. Relax your shoulders. If you went into half moon from triangle on side A, do it on side B. And if it didn't work for you, then stay grounded. Make sure you're not overtaxing and pushing all your weight into your right hand. Keep lifting the body away from the ground. Good. We're going to come up and take those tighter lunges. So here in a half moon, you'll catch up with us. And we're going to come up through superstar. And we're going to lunge into the left knee and then into the right knee. Keep your tailbone. I can feel my butt wanting to stick out there. Don't let your butt stick out. Right? The depth will come with practice and time. Don't force it. One more right. And this time when you end on the left, we turn the toes around and we turn it into dragonfly twist. You might need to adjust your stance. I went really big here. Now knee can come down. Or you could stay up. You can turn the left toes out and come on the knife edge of the foot. You could take some hip dips here. Or you can work on picking up that big toe. And maybe you don't get very far. Maybe you get the toe and that's as far as you go. And then maybe the leg starts here and then here. And sometimes it takes a little while before we get to that full expression. When you come back, you'll set the foot down if it was lifted. If not, we're going to turn the left toes forward, bring the left hand down, and the right knee in behind, curtsy bow. And this is where we just kind of held out and chilled in curtsy bow. And if you were working on that, getting into crazy crow pose from our curtsy bow, now we're on the other side. So how does it work for me here? And if it's not working at all, enjoy that curtsy bow. Give yourself 2 more breaths to be playful with it. And then flows work best when we do them twice. So I'm going to take you through that again, just not as slow. But you have permission to go at the speed that works for you. You're going to take your vinyasa or not. And you're going to meet me in down dog or table. And when you get to down dog, we're going to pick the right leg up. We're going to squeeze it underneath. Finish your exhale. Step the foot up. Use the inhale to lift you into warrior B. Lunging into the right leg. Come up through superstar so you can pivot the feet and come into warrior B facing the back of your mat. And then reverse it. And if you've got the pattern figured out and you want to move one breath, one movement, go. Right. Extended side angle comes next. And it turns into triangle and maybe half moon. And then we come back through warrior B to come up to superstar. And we lunge back and forth, right and left. 3 times on each side. What are those sensations coming up? What are you labeling them? When you roll it through your dragonfly twist, turn your right toes to the front of your mat. Come on the ball of your back foot. Shoulders down. Twist or drop your knee. Hip dips. which are still harder for me than Vastisthasana, sage pose. So I'm going to do the hip dips because this is going to strengthen my SI joint, which is weak. When you finish your hip dips, anywhere from 3 to 20, you come into your curtsy bow and you squeeze it all together. And if you were getting playful with that Bakasana thing, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you get 3 to 5 breaths in your curtsy bow. And then we reverse the flow. We come back out through dragonfly twist. We come up through superstar. Tiger lunge to the left, and then the right. 3 times on each side. And then it's a warrior bee on the left. Don't worry if I'm going faster than your breath and movement. Stick with you. And then it was triangle or half moon. Extended side angle. Warrior bee. Reverse it. Come up through warrior bee. Pivot on the feet. And wiggle the hands down and step it back. Take your vinyasa. Or meet me in down dog. We're going to finish this left side strong. So if you know it, you don't need me, go. Left leg. Crunch it in. Warrior 2. Superstar. Warrior 2 to the right. Big healthy reverse. Extended side angle. Triangle. Half moon if you're adding half moon. Back to extended side angle. So we can come all the way up and then tiger lunge it out. 3 times each side. Dragonfly twist. Hip dips. Turn the toes forward as you bring the left hand down, curtsy bow. We're going to reverse it now and then meet on our bellies for those of you who might be done with it. Dragonfly twist. Brings us back up through superstar. So it's a lot of core picking ourselves up and moving back and forth. Tiger lunges, 3 to each side. Reach those inner thighs up. And then eventually it'll be warrior 2 on the right. And then triangle or half moon. Extended side angle. Lift up and reverse it. Come all the way back up, warrior bee. Pivot. Warrior bee to the left. Hands come all the way down and around, and you can take your vinyasa right on down to your belly. And that's where we're going to meet. Breathe. When you get to your belly, you can turn a cheek, you can soften your shoulders. Just take a few moments and notice what it feels like after you've moved your body so much. Maybe you've been staying really active. Maybe you've been enjoying more sitting around time than usual. The weather hasn't been all that cooperative, so for me anyway. So you're going to reach your arms back. And you're going to turn the palms down. We're going to zip up the legs. Come back to that deep, deep breath. Fill up your back body. Feel the expansion in your lungs. And then feel the contraction in your belly, pulling your navel in and up. Maybe you can even feel your belly trying to leave the floor. Keep breathing. You could have a cheek, a chin, or your forehead on the ground. On your inhale, we're going to lift our gaze, our shoulders, and our feet. Push the ground away with your hands, but pull the shoulders on your back and breathe. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. 2 more. Make them to the measure of your breath. And when you finish, you're just going to softly lower back down. You can turn the palms up if you choose. Turn your gaze in a direction that makes sense. Now, we're going to take one more recovery breath, and you can choose to take that back bend again. This is a good one. Oh, let's do one other one before I offer bow pose. So reach your arms out in front. Push your palms down onto the ground. So I have to lift up a little and lock my shoulders in. And so if I lay all the way down, there's a little bend in my elbows. Inhale, lift up your chin and your chest. Push the ground away with your hand. Plug your shoulder blades in your back. Zip up your legs. Now lift your legs. Rock onto your belly. Keep breathing. Heels together. Legs long. And now see if you can lift your hands. Breathe in. And breathe out. Know that you can put your hands back down anytime you need to. 2 more. And when you finish, you're going to relax. Turn a cheek, put a forehead down, whatever makes sense. Last back bend. So if you want, you can bend your knees and reach back through your feet. You grab the tops of your feet or your ankles. But once you get a hold, we're going to push our feet, or Adele always says kick. Kick your feet into your hands. Right? So you get the idea that you're really pushing with your feet. And we're holding on with our hands and we're pulling back. So we can use this tension to help us lift. Make sure you stay on your belly button so that the hips are free. And you've got 2 to 3 more rounds of breath here. So enjoy breathing in to these big, deep back bends. Try not to clench your butt cheeks. Let your spine release. Where are you holding it? You're going to push back to down dog or child's pose when you finish your back bending. You might need a few breaths on your belly. So a neutral down dog or a cat down dog can feel really good after some deep back bending. The so can child's pose. Think about pulling the sit bones towards the heels and the navel toward the spine. Once you release, we're going to meet in the seat. So you'll bring yourself through to a seat. If you're working on the float through, try not to move your hands if you came from down dog or table. Otherwise, we're going to come up to a comfortable seat with our legs out long, hands next to the hips. A little Dandasana action here as you roll your shoulders down and lengthen through the crown of your head. Pull your navel in, and now that we've done all that work, we built up some warmth, maybe even some heat, and we've opened up the back, let's do some stretching. Step on the right foot. Try to keep the right heel in front of the right hip. So you might actually have to walk yours over to the right a little. Inhale, both arms up, shoulders down your back. Sit tall, pull your navel in. And as you exhale, you're going to reach forward for your foot. And if you don't reach your foot, grab your strap. If you reach your foot, don't get crunchy in your shoulder. Don't let your shoulders come up so you can reach your foot. Shoulders away. Shoulders down, arms forward. So if you're using your strap, you can actually engage those muscles, but push with your foot. If you've got your foot, try not to let your right butt cheek leave the ground. So we're working on a fold here, but there's also a bind. So if you can do the bind, you're going to wrap your right arm around your right leg, and then the left arm goes behind the back. I can. Usually in the morning I can't get this bind. Then you grab your fingers. Right? And if you've got a strap or a belt, and you don't quite make the finger connection yet, you could go here. But it's sometimes better to reach forward. So you have to decide which one's better. You've got 3 more breaths. Push into the big toe mound. Roll the shoulders down. Pull the sternum forward. And then slowly begin to let the belly and thigh come closer together. Now 2 years ago, 1, I couldn't get this bind at all. And 2, even with my hands forward, I couldn't forward fold. So consistency, let me get these words out, and continuity of practice really matter. As you inhale, we're going to slowly lift up, come back up through seated. Good. And then just let that knee fall open. Walk your foot in for Janu Shirsasana. So as you exhale, we're going to fold down over our left extended leg. Once again, if the hands don't reach for your foot, use your strap so that you can keep leaning forward. So you could round in here too. And if that's actually producing progress for you, then go there. But most of the time, I like these active stretches. I think they're far more productive for most bodies. Because if you're tight, your muscles are already clenching and trying to make them go passive in a sensational place. It's a lot of work. But if you're really bendy, if you don't activate those muscles, then you're actually putting your joints at risk. So be mindful. Mindful movement. Good. Inhale, come on up. And as you come on up, we're going to grab for the bottom of the right foot. We've got that strap again. You can use it. Ties work pretty good at home too if you don't have a strap. And we're going to strap the foot. And you're just going to pull that in towards you. Don't lean back. Sit up tall. And if you want to sit up against a bed or a wall to make sure you're not leaning back, go ahead. And just breathe. A couple more breaths here. It's a big hamstring opener. So where do you need to take yours? Long neck, shoulders down. Good. One more breath. And then we're slowly going to pull that foot in. We're going to cradle the leg. And if cradling the leg doesn't work, you can come underneath here as well. And both of them offer different challenges. We're trying to get the knee right over the hip. Right? So if your knee's out a little bit, that's fine. Just become aware of where you are in the pose. Same with the rounding and the hunching. If you're rounding, then sit up a little taller. And if that means the foot goes out a little further, then let that happen. Right? Be okay with where your body is in these poses. And then just rock it back and forth a little bit. Now, for some, we're gonna do the next pose and then you're gonna come back to pigeon and some are gonna go into compass. So this long left leg could become a foot planted or a bent knee turned out. So once you figure out where your kickstand needs to be, you'll take it. We're gonna reach for the bottom of the right foot with the right hand and then try and pull that big toe towards our ear. And if you're rounding in your back, sit tall. And just breathe. Maybe use your left hand next to you as a kickstand to help you lengthen. What is so important about this pose? What part of your body or mind is struggling? And if there's no struggle, your toe is in your ear. One more breath. Relax your neck. Relax your belly. Now, if you're coming back to pigeon, you're going to cradle your leg. If you want to try compass, you're going to grab the outside edge of your right foot with your left hand. You're going to lift that leg up a little bit and take your right arm under so you get some space. Now, when I first started doing this pose, my leg was at my elbow. But I was still taught to push that leg back and pin it down with your right hand. And nowadays, I can walk my leg up a little higher, and maybe you can too. And the day it got up to my bicep, I was really super excited. So once you get here, perhaps you can open into compass. And when our arms and legs aren't long enough, we've got a strap. We can still make that happen. Right? And if you're tight in the hammy, keep that bend. If you thought, oh, that seems really crazy, I'm not doing compass, then you're still in a beautiful pigeon pose, opening up the hip. If you're in compass, you can take one or two more breaths. You'll meet us back in our little pigeon pose. Once you get to your pigeon pose, if you've been there for a while, smile. We're going to set the right foot down outside the left thigh. Yeah, and we're going to grab the left knee with the left arm and twist over our right shoulder. Sit up tall. Breathe deep. Some of you are going to stay here like this. Some of you are going to bend your left foot in. Make sure that right butt cheek comes down. We're going to let go of the knee and take the left arm up and over the back. And then the right arm behind the back. Reach up for those fingertips, but it's more about opening the elbows toward the back wall. If you get your fingertips, or you can even reach your wrists, then you're using your arms to help pull the elbows in towards the center line of your body a little more. So you're getting this great big stretch across your sternum. If you'd like to fold for these next 3 to 5 breaths, then allow yourself to fold. Try to keep the arms, but if yours are starting to get really intense, let them go. And I find that I've got a lot of sensation just in the feet, so the fold isn't going to be for me today. Now, breathe in. Breathe out. And when you unwind, we're going to take the hands back behind us. If you're folded, take your time to lift and unwind. And you're going to slowly untangle the legs. Maybe take some windshield movements. And then as you come back through neutral, take your time. You don't have to move at the speed I am. We're going to lift our legs for both. Now, I'm sitting mostly on the tops, almost the tops of my iliac crests. So what we're going to do is use our hands to push us forward until we'll find that balance point where, like, whoop, I might fall here. Good. And then you can either keep your hands grounding you, or you can reach them forward. 3 big breaths. Inhale deeply. exhale completely. Let it be hard, it's supposed to. If it's not hard enough, lift, get closer together. Now you can take a vinyasa back to your seat, where you can plant the left foot down and extend the right leg and lift your arms up as we prepare for side 2. Left foot in front of the left hip. And as you exhale, we're going to reach forward for that right foot. Talked a lot about straps on the other side, so I'm not going to belabor the point on this side. Give yourself a few breaths to sink in, and then decide, do I need the strap? Do I want the bind? Do I want the bind and I can't get the bind? What happens when I get the bind and I can get my chin to my shin? And Annette's in the room, so there's a good chance when you get to that point, your left hip is going to leave the ground, and it has to. It's just body mechanics. So when you get to that point where your belly's on your thigh and your nose and knee are getting closer together, you might find your hip leaving. Most of us, we're just working on grounding, breathing, waiting for the day when that release happens. Everything wants to work in harmony. How many obstacles do we put in our own way? Three more breaths. Make them big, deep, and strong. Shoulders down. Savasana comes next. When you release, you come all the way back up through seated, reaching the arms up. Left foot's going to come in. Get yourself situated. And then you're going to fold. Breathe in. Breathe out. Reminding ourselves we're all alone in our internal universe. And slowly begin to lift ourselves up. We're going to pick up that leg, cradle it, rock it, work it out a little bit. And remember, this is going to be our go-to place. The compass doesn't work on this side. But first, we're going to reach for the outside edge of the foot. We're going to prime the hip. So we're going to pull that leg as far back as we can and sit up tall. That's a lot of work for many of our bodies. Be aware of where yours wants to go. And see if you can lengthen your spine. Root your sit bones. And now you can come back to pigeon, or you can reach for the outside edge of your left foot and take the left arm in. It's okay for the knee to be at the elbow or the bicep, or maybe even way down here at the forearm. We all got to start somewhere. And then eventually we pin that hip back with our left hand. And then we can choose to open the leg. And this side I'm much tighter, so I'm going to need the strap to get my leg to go straight. Compass pose. If it's not for you today, but you tried it, you come back to your pigeon. If you're in compass pose on this side, give yourself at least 3 more breaths so that you can feel even. If you've been in pigeon, make sure that your knee is working to come over your hip. So if you're just still winging out there, see if you can work it in. It doesn't have to come in today, but if it does, let it. Good. Now we're going to extend this leg out long and get that hamstring stretch. So you decide where yours is. This bottom leg could be bent, crooked, shoulders down, chest up, belly strong. Yeah, that's it. Nice. And then eventually we're going to let that go. If you're finding some release, never rush through that. Plant the left foot outside the right thigh. Hug the left knee and twist. We're hugging the left knee with the right arm. Sit up tall. Feel the length in your spine. Engage your navel. Where's your breath? The inhale deep. The exhale long. You could stay here, or you can come back through center and bend the bottom knee, or keep it straight, but we're going to come into half cow face or cow face. So left leg is on top, right arm is going to go up and over, and then the left arm goes behind and up. And once we find that space, depending on if you're a pusher or a coaster, you're going to find your sensation. And so if we coast a little bit, we're almost always running away from that sensation because it's intense. How close can you get to it? How willing are you to touch the fire? And if you're a pusher, I need you to back off because you're pushing so hard that you're missing the point. And if you want to fold for these last 3 to 10 breaths, that's a big number difference there, but I don't know how long some of you were folded the last time, and I don't want you to be cut short on this side. Remember, elbows are working toward each other and back. Whether you have the bind or not. If you're with me on my count, 2 more big breaths. And we're going to unwind the same way we did on the other side. So taking your time to complete this side. When you do, the hands will come down behind you. The legs will untangle, and you're going to lift them up for boat. And I didn't mention it, but you could have the knees bent. They don't need to be straight. The legs don't need to be straight. So from here, from your boat pose, we're going to take 3 to 5 breaths lifted, and then you're going to take 3 to 10 breaths to lower down. So I'm looking for a solid 3 to 15 breaths in boat. And there are days when I just can't float my boat, and there are days when I can float my boat and I can pile on more. What day are you in? When you start sinking your boat, think about sinking shoulders and toes at the same time. And when you sink, you're going to get all the way down onto your backs and hug your knees in. Once you hug your knees in, you're going to rock around. And you're going to choose a spinal twist, an inversion, or a back bend. How would you like to complete your practice? On this beautiful Friday. And we will take Shavasana together and end class together. So take your Shavasana rest when you get there. Get comfortable. And Shavasanas are getting better at cueing a longer one during our home practices. But don't rush through your closing sequence to get to Shavasana. Let go of any cleansing breaths. Let your body sink into the earth, to your carpet, to your mat. Maybe you're on a concrete floor or wood. Merge with the flatness. Feel the softness. Feel the hardness. Be okay with where you're at. Santosh. Content with your life. Happy with what you have. Prepare to bring yourself back to the here and now. Take a few moments to be in stillness and aware. Maybe you let your eyes flutter open. Take your breath from your nose and send it all the way down to your toes and wiggle. Take your next breath all the way out to your fingertips and wiggle them. Let your next inhale stretch you out nice and long from tip to toe. Big full body stretch. Release a heavy exhale. More if you want. We're going to lift up into fish pose next. So lifting onto the elbows underneath your shoulders, palms down, chest up, chin up. We're going to take 3 rounds of lion's breath. So big breath in through the nose. Open your mouth and let it go. Stick out your tongue. 2 more. Inhale as deeply as you can. One more. And then you can sit all the way up from there. If you need to come onto your back and then roll up, then come to seated in the way that works best for your body. Once you get to seated, we're going to conclude class with an Om. So if you'd like to join in, feel free to do so. I like to take that preparatory cleansing breath. So a big cleansing breath, inhale. And then exhale. Prepare for a comfortable inhale. Hands together in front of your heart and be grateful. Be grateful for everything we have, everything we do, and all the people who love you. Thank you so much for being part of my safety network. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Namaste. Enjoy Friday.